Alright guys, so this is our new project. A little backstory on this boat. Has a 2.5 liter engine in it. If I come over here and look into it, got a little engine in it. The boat was actually well upkept for a lot of years. A buddy of mine used to live in a condo against one of the lakes here in Ohio, and he essentially kept this right outside of his back door and go out on it every day. He moved. He decided he was having a kid and he wanted to raise a kid in a different community, so he moved and he put this boat in storage. He didn't really care about the look of it, he cared about the performance of it. As you guys can see, brand new prop, upkept engine. So he put it in storage and he planned to still go out on the boat. Now, as everybody knows, over time our priorities change. You know, he was having a baby, his priorities changed, and the boat sat in storage for quite a few years actually. When was the last time this was titled? 19? Well, it's 24 now, and so 19 was the last time this boat was ever titled and sat in storage. He called me up one day and said, look, they're charging me out the wazoo in storage. My storage is about to go up even more. Do you want to buy my boat? And I said, bud, I don't have the cash or the want to buy a boat right now. He said, I'll make you a great deal on it. I think he said $400 or $500, something like that. And I said, when's your next rent due? And he said, well, in about 2 days. And I said, well, how about I do this for you? I said, I don't have cash to hand you. How about I come get the boat right now? You don't have to worry about selling it, which means you save that $400 or $500 in the next 2 or 3 months, and I'll come pick the boat up. And when I get it put back together, you can come pick it up whenever you want to go out on the lake. You can take it with you. Now, he knows that I do custom upholstery, custom boat interiors, custom boat tops. He also knows that I have my experiences in classic car restoration and so on. So he knows the boat will get rebuilt to be pretty nice. Now, I picked this up last year and I told him, I got a wedding coming up. I don't think I'm going to get to it. He said, that's fine. He's not worried about it. So my thought here, first off, guys, if you're going to buy a boat, make sure you got somewhere to store it. These storage units now for outdoor space for you to back the boat into, $150 a month, something stupid like that. That's here in the Midwest. I'm sure it's even more out against the waterfront. Boat like this, you're gonna pick up for $500 a grand all day. You don't want to be spending, you know, $1,200, $1,500 in storage fees. Even if your boat's more expensive than this, you don't want to be spending that in storage fees. So make sure you got somewhere to park the boat. He did originally, and then when he moved, he just didn't have the space for it. He moved into a little community, and he needed to put it in a storage unit. And that added up quick. So if you're gonna buy a boat, make sure you have the space for it. Second thing is, now this one's been winterized, so I'm not worried about the motor, but the interiors of the boats, especially this is an old seat cover, you can see, but this was recently done. Now, I don't remember if I redid these. I don't think so. I don't leave the bottom of my seats looking like that, but you can see that they were redone, and the sun just damages them and fades them. The materials now are a lot better than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but still you need to be buying a high quality UV material, UV resistant material, and it's going to be UV and antimicrobial resistant. It's not going to be cheap. It's going to go for $22 plus a yard. To do a boat like this, you're going to be, I don't know, $1,000 in the material to be able to do all the seats and the sides and all of that. And you can just increase your longevity by not putting it away wet. A lot of this deterioration of the foam that you see, you can just rip that foam apart. That's from being put away wet or allowing to get wet. And these materials are meant to breathe, so they're going to get wet if it's wet. And the second thing is keeping them out of the sun. So you got all these people that will go put their boat out in the water and it'll rain and it'll get sun baked, and then they'll put it away for winter, and then they'll be like, whoa, it's never been left out all winter. Well, it doesn't matter. If you have moisture in the seat and then you put the boat cover on it and then go put it somewhere and your boat cover is not properly ventilated, like if you put a blue tarp over it, it's gonna hold moisture in and it's gonna damage everything. So you really have to let everything dry out, and then after it's dried out, get it in the shade and get it covered up. Taking care of boats isn't easy because of that, because the wood underneath deteriorates. And I don't know if that one will be, flip it over, let's see. You have to use pressure treated woods, and even then, right here, look, you can see it holding moisture right now. Now this hasn't been covered up, but what happens is right here on the edge, this starts to break down. You can see it flaking apart. I have worked on some really nice speedboats that I have taken the seats apart, and they have been mush like this, and it all needs repaired and replaced, and it has to be replaced with pressure treated wood that we cut, and then we also ceramic coat them, put a ceramic paint on them. See how mushy it is? So you end up spending, I don't know what it is for a sheet anymore, 80 bucks a sheet plus paint, plus the time to cut it. It's not cheap, so make sure you store your boats. So yeah, this is a new project for the channel. I think I posted it before and I just never got around to working on it. So we're gonna get this torn apart, cleaned up, do some repairs on the trailer. The trailer had issues before I picked it up. I think somebody had backed into the ball of it. See, this netting is just trash. Crank's trash, no handle on it. That crank's trash with no handle on it. Coming back here, platform could be redone. That platform's missing. We got screws coming up through it, so that's always wonderful. Tie down for the back. Make sure you have one of those on your boat, at least one. There's two. Back of boats usually float when you go down the road, because yeah, they just do. This side's missing the same thing. No screws coming out of that side, at least. So I'm thinking I'll strip the boat down to the bare minimum. I just need 2 seats in it for right now, and I hate those fold-out benches. I have this piece of tin in here off a building back there, but these fold-out benches, I hate those. So I'll probably get rid of those, put just regular seats in it. And then, you know, over this series, I'm going to show you guys how to redo all these pieces. I don't know if I'm going to put the pieces back in there. I probably will. They're easy to do. So I'll teach you guys how to do, you know, these backing pieces, ones that are missing, these curved ones. Yeah, we'll learn how to redo all of these seats. Now, I'm probably not going to do certain things like these. They have buttons. Yeah, these have buttons. I'm not going to do buttons. You can see where these buttons come through. If you want to learn how to do buttons, it's easy. Got to buy a button top or a button machine. You have a long thread that comes through. You drill a hole, push a button or push the thread through. Make sure you're not using a cotton thread. Make sure you're using a synthetic thread, which this is a synthetic thread. You'll know the cotton will fall right apart over time, which is usually why you get these tears along seams. But I can't confirm that on here. The rest of them are holding up, so that might just be a failure. But use a synthetic thread, pull it through, tighten it up, stretch it out. You get your tension off of how much you're pulling that. Maybe I can show you an example right over here. Let's walk over here quick. A lot of motorcycle seats use buttons. Same reason, kinda. They pull that center down. So you can see I even use the old buttons. Pushed them through, stapled them back down. But a lot of things use buttons. Not a bad thing to learn. So yeah, if you want to watch a whole series on restoring a boat, here it is. We're gonna get into it. So all right, we got all of the seats and engine cover and stuff torn out of it. Oh, might have been a wasp nest in there. I knew I was going to get caught eventually. I don't see any wasps. Might be an old one. But anyways, you can just see that all these seat bottoms and stuff kind of rotted out. Nothing great, especially that motor cover rotted out. So I can step on that. Yep. So looking up in here, got a lot of carpet to take out. So that's the next step. Rip all this carpet out and get it thrown in the trash. We can see the condition of that wood underneath there. Alright, so one of the first things I'm going to start with is just stripping some of the stuff off of here. You know, these little wood trim pieces that are on top, you can kind of see them on the other side. Stripping all that off. Coming through then with a Brillo pad and just some water. Just really scrubbing everything down. I don't really mind if I etch into this. I know some people are like, I don't want scratches. But if you really just scrub this with a Brillo pad, get all this off of here, and then come through and rinse it off. If I can get this hose in my hand, here it is. Just rinse it off. I mean, you're already talking about like a massive improvement. Now, if you come through with a clear coat, what you see right now with that shine on there is what you're gonna have. I don't know if once it dries it's going to have some scuffing to it. Is what it is, but I'm going to get this carpet pulled out, get all the stuff out of here, and then really want to scrub everything down today. Make it generally look nicer. That's one trick for you guys. If you take water on anything and you spray it, that's what it would look like with a clear coat on there. Just a clear coat. If you were to go to the store, buy clear enamel or clear paint, or whatever, depending on the project you're working on, and to clear coat something, it's going to look like that. Now, I back up. I think we can agree where it's cleared and where it wouldn't be cleared, big difference. So, who knows, I might just scrub it down and clear it. It's already going to be a massive improvement on the look of this boat. You know, my big focus has been the interior and how I want the inside to look, because that's what I'm going to experience and enjoy. But the outside has to look good too. And I kind of would love to paint it down the road, but for right now, if I'm not going to get to painting it, clear coat might just be the answer. So I'm going to get it scrubbed down right now, get the trim pieces off so I can clean underneath them, kind of see the conditions I'm looking at, and go from there. You know, these are all just plastic inserts, so if you need to replace something like that, they're easily accessible and easy to insert, something you can do yourself at home. Some of the other things I need to think about, that gauge cluster, that wheel. I have a couple wood wheels out in the barn that I've used in cars over the years. I wonder if that would fit on there. We'll find out. So again, stripping it down, scrubbing it down. Let's just, I'm going to scrub this and see how it looks right away. I'd say that's a hell of a difference in like 3 minutes of scrubbing. So maybe 5 minutes. I don't even think I made it through a whole song on Spotify before holding my phone back out. So you can see over there, you can see over here. So I mean, it's a night and day difference. So I'm gonna keep on scrubbing. I'm gonna get the outside of this boat cleaned up, hopefully, because it looks nice. I mean, it looks a lot better like this, you know. That's something you want to work with. That's something you don't mind sitting in your yard while you work on for a while. So I want to get to that point. One thing I did is I brought some that Dawn Power Wash spray so I can spritz it as I go. You know, Dawn is a degreaser and it does a good job at breaking some of that stuff down. So I'm going to spritz it on there and I'm going to let it soak while I'm working up to it. I don't necessarily want it to dry, so you're just spraying it on the next section you're about to work on. Do whatever you're going to do, come back through and scrub it. So I'm going to try to get this cleaned up. I think I'm going to get up there and see how that's going to look too, because that'll be a big night and day difference. So yeah, see how it gets. So the boat's looking a lot better. You can definitely tell the difference between where I'm scrubbing and where I'm not scrubbing. Now I will say that this blue one here, it's I think it needs redone or sealed or something, because it's just kind of crap. But that's okay, because I want to scrape all those letters off anyways. But you can really see the difference. You know, no matter where I walk around this, like I scrubbed this. I didn't scrub that yet. Okay, you can see the difference in that, right? I guess I ain't touched, but I'd have touched. I do still need to get this off of there, which isn't an issue. I just took those plates off top. This is how those look before you scrub them down. So you kind of want to take those off and scrub them, I think, even if you're going to leave them on. But again, you can see where I scrubbed, where I didn't get to, where I started to get to, where I scrubbed. Up here it looks like there's a flaw or something. I don't know if it's on the paint, in the paint. I do need to figure that out. Not really an issue. I'll get more aggressive with it up here. Oh look, it's on the paint. I can scrape it off. Okay, so that just needs a little more aggressive scrubbing up here on the bow. Not a big issue, but you can see as I'm getting to it, it's starting to look a lot better. Even on the inside, right? You can see, didn't touch this side and I started that side. Huge difference. Scrubbing everything down is going to definitely be step one. Now, while I've been in the process of scrubbing everything down, I have started tearing out all the interior and all the carpeting and all that stuff. So if I jump up here, you can see I got this whole side tore out. These have little fiberglass flats that go to the ground. If you're going to go back to using the same type of seats, keep them. You can see that the wood bolts right to those, but I'm not going to use that type of seat, so I'm going to take them out. And that's just going to be something I know I'm doing, so that's up to you. Back there, you're going to have to be careful because there's a lot of wiring and things bolted to the floor, like your battery and stuff, so you're going to have to go through and take all those brackets out. Issue I ran into is I got my impact over here with a little Phillips head on, which is almost 90% of everything in here's going to be Phillips head with stainless screws. And I got over to there, and there's on the strap that holds the battery down there were stainless screws on one bracket and then bolts on the other. So I got to go grab me a bolt driver and try to figure that size out. And of course, whoever redid it didn't use stainless, so yeah, they rusted out and it's going to fall apart. But that's where I'm at now. That's my starting point. I'm also trying to get the engine kind of scrubbed up and sprayed down a little bit. And I come back here to the motor, just because I was standing here with a sponge in my hand, I did scrub the top of that just to see how it would look. It's whatever. It's a little worn. It doesn't look bad, but it'll get there. You know, it's all things I can improve over time. And the big one right now is get the outside looking good, get the inside redone. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that fiberglass floor. I think it's better than the plywood floors every day of the week, because the plywood floors suck. They're all rotted out, and to redo them, to find a flat piece of plywood anymore that isn't going to swell and arch, I mean, all the wood sucks. So yeah, that's the plan. Oh, sorry. That's the plan, is finish getting these flooring redone. So yeah, stick around for the build. It'll be fun building a little mini yacht. Get out there, build cool things, and most importantly, have a good day.